Hello, beautiful humans. Tonight we're going to talk more about, during this holiday season, about adult children of alcoholics and other dysfunctional families. The one we're working with right now is adult children judge themselves without mercy. And that is an absolute fact. If you identify on any level as an adult child, you will find that you do this a lot. You can watch someone else doing the exact same thing you're doing. And if they make a mistake, you will tell them to try again, that it's okay. It's okay if you stumble. You have to crawl before you can walk before you can run. But when it's you, everything is enormous. Like it is the end of the world. It is very much an adolescent especially response. You know, when you're a teenager, everything is a catastrophe. Adult children can be the same way. When you make a mistake, when you fail, when something doesn't go the way you planned, or when something just really unpleasant happens in your life, many times you try and hide it. You try and deflect any conversation about it. You judge yourself internally without mercy, because you make it about who you are as a human being, because most of your life you have been told that you're not worthy. It could have been directly, it could have been indirectly. The world around you, in the world that you lived in, your dysfunctional, chaotic home, you knew you were not worthy of having everything go your way. And we do it sometimes in both ways. When good things happen to us, and when bad things, it's like we put the floodlight on it. And sometimes that can even work to our detriment, even when it's a good thing, because we put so much emphasis on making sure that everyone knows what good thing we did, what right thing we did, that we were right about this, that we actually did this. Sometimes we put such a floodlight on that because we think it makes us worthy, that when we do, first of all, it comes off as very obnoxious to the outside world. In your family and whoever. I mean, but at the same time, what also happens is when you flip that coin over and you do make a mistake and all that is reversed, you also put the floodlight on that and you make it so much worse than it actually is, because you're tying it to your self-worth. And that's one thing that we really have to work on, to see things as they are, but not better or worse than they are. Just see them as they are. I made a mistake. I tried that and it didn't work. Don't put any hidden meaning behind it. Don't make it mean more than it does. And also, while we celebrate all of our wins, we celebrate the things we do right. Don't hang that on the pinnacle of this is what makes me worthy. Absolutely, I am all about celebrating your wins, but don't make it more as far as how you view yourself than you need to. Another little thing that we do oftentimes as adult children is you may enter a season where you've worked really hard on a lot of things. Some things are really going well at home and work, in a relationship, whatever the case may be. And everything's going great. And do you know what you do? And if you're an adult child, I can guess you absolutely know what you do. You start waiting and looking for the other shoe to drop, because we are not accustomed to peace. We are not accustomed to the exhale. We are always looking for the other shoe to drop. So we can take a perfectly beautiful moment in our lives or season, and we will drag chaos into it, screaming and kicking, even if it did not want to be there, because we can't handle the internal quiet. We can't stand not knowing when that other shoe is going to drop, when things are going to fall apart, when the bridge is going to blow up, all these different things. We do that because we're so uncomfortable with peace internally and in our environment. So what we have to do is learn to regulate ourselves. When you're having a peaceful season, a peaceful moment, it could be a peaceful 5 minutes, or it could be days, weeks, or months. Take some time and regulate your nervous system. 4 breaths in, count to 4, 4 breaths out for the count of 4. So count of 4 in, hold for 4, out for 4. Regulate your nervous system before you make any snap judgments about what is going on, and learn to get comfortable with the peace and quiet. But sometimes, and especially in relationships, we will do this. In our friendships often, especially in romantic relationships, we are so used to that chaos and that unpredictability in trying to convince somebody we're worthy by doing everything for them. And, you know, we are their savior kind of thing. We will do that. And then maybe that relationship ends for whatever reason. And then we will maybe meet someone who's really kind, who's really thoughtful, that makes us feel valued. Then what do? We start picking them apart. We find out what's wrong with them. There must be something missing. So you bring this negative energy that's coming from you into the relationship, and guess what almost always happens? You implode it. You may stay in the relationship, but you have brought that energy into the relationship because you couldn't handle the peace and quiet. So all I'm asking you to do is regulate. Don't make things bigger than they are. Don't make them smaller than they are. Just see them as they are without judgment and let them be there, and then look at them objectively, and then change your position. Look at it as if you were talking to your child or a sibling, someone that you care very much about. And if they were telling you the same facts that had happened, and they're just circumstances, that's all, what would you tell them about the same thing? And chances are you would not tell them to judge themselves without mercy and to hold them and condemn them and pick them apart and tell them how stupid they are or how unworthy they are. You would not do that. You would say, you know what, it's okay. You can try again. You can try something different. Don't give up if this is really important to you. And talk yourself through it the way you would talk someone else through it that you really deeply cared about and believed in. Regulate your nervous system. 4 breaths in, hold for 4, 4 breaths out. It can do wonders, and you can do that anytime and anywhere, and especially at the holiday season where it should feel good. So if you get into a moment in your holiday where things just feel good, bask in that for a few minutes. Just sit there and do your breath work and sit there and feel how good it feels until you start to normalize it. Because that will also help you recognize it when things aren't what they should be, because you will become so accustomed to feeling good. And I want you to feel good during this holiday season. So take the time, look at things objectively, do your breath work, and learn to regulate to things feeling good, because you absolutely deserve